Greetings and howdy howdy. I took off the little light to see if this would work better, and I think it is. I hope, according to the little sound thing that I see on the screen, it looks like I'm getting normal volume. I hope you can hear me all right. Please comment below how the volume is. This is not where I wanted to film today's video. I went up to the white and pink dogwood tree earlier and got it set up good, except the wind was blowing too strong. I was seeing this sound thing go all the way over, and this microphone is not supposed to pick up the sound like that. It's supposed to come right to me, but I wouldn't have been able to talk over that, so I just decided to come to you from the back porch today. But I had to wait for the mowers to stop. You know, I don't usually like to hear the sound of mowers, but it's a whole lot better when you're not the one driving it. Or pushing it in my case. When I had my own home, I was generally pushing it, even though it could be self-propelled. I could push the button down and the wheels would turn automatically. Thank goodness crews moved in and did all the mowing for me the last couple of years I owned the property. Which that kind of brings me to my thoughts for today. I will tag this by saying it is 4:55 Thursday, April, I think 21st, on the East Coast. So that's 4:45 p.m. Thursday, April 21st, East Coast time. I hope you have had time to watch yesterday's video where I told you I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life now that I have kind of landed from my big leap. I am still in the process, and hopefully I'll finish that once I finish this video before I upload it into categorizing my channel into three only playlists, and then I'll still have last video for the last one that came out to try to keep the statistics on that one up. You can just put that one on automatic loop and help me out significantly there. I'm going to have travel vlog videos, health vlog videos, and my big leap vlog, which, if you haven't followed me for very long, the Big Leap is a book by Gay Hendricks, who is an occupational psychologist, who the occupational psychologist I'm in a class with, Dr. Benjamin Hardy, likes very much. I've read the Big Leap. I've listened to it on YouTube audio several times. It's about a 5-hour video. The author actually reads the book, and I've seen him interviewed multiple times. Can you hear the little birdies in the background? Well, they're in front of me because the building is behind me, but they're in the trees around the property here. Hopefully you can hear them. It's a nice sound. I am not real excited about how gloomy Virginia has been since I moved in. I'm a graduate of Virginia Tech, and the town that Virginia Tech is in is called Blacksburg. It's nicknamed Bleaksburg because it has gray sandstone buildings, and it rains so much it's always very bleak. I'd forgotten that about Virginia, and in the summer I will probably be missing this cool weather. But for now, I wish I had a little more sun and a little bit warmer temperatures. I am out here in my YouTube shirt in short sleeves, and I'm comfortable. It got to 60 today. It's supposed to be 80 by Sunday. Sunday. I don't know about sunny, but Sunday. Yesterday, I mentioned, again, trying to figure out what to move forward with. And of course, I put some thought into it since then. So I mentioned a full-time interview I had yesterday. If that comes through, I may take that job. I may not. Let me see if I brought a drink. I did not have it sitting beside me, so I had to go. I had left it on the end table there beside the chair in the living room. But I did get a Werther's Original. I've been bad, and I bought some of those before the interview, so if my throat got scratchy from all this pollen, I could suck on a mint. I kind of like the Werther's better than the Starlight mints, but the Starlight mints are easier to come by. Again, if I hear from the town and they offer me that position and it's an acceptable salary, I will probably go on and take it. But my thinking, since I was offered the interview, is that I should probably move more to my original plan and only work part-time and concentrate on self-sufficiency more. I have a couple messages into a couple of people that help me with finances. One of them actually is a financial planner. The other one works for a precious metals company that specializes in strategies. I've mentioned that in previous videos called ITM. I like India, T like Tom, M like Mary, ITM.com, or maybe it's ITMstrategies.com. They also have a YouTube channel, and now they've launched out a channel called Beyond Gold and Silver, which if you have any concerns about getting ready for what's coming, I suggest you watch that channel. It talks about homesteading, I guess what some of us in the U.S. call prepping, basically preparing for whatever comes. And what's the harm if you prepare and the end of the, quote, the end of the world, it's not going to be the end of the world, but if we think it's the end of the world happens, or if it doesn't happen, what's the harm in having a few extra cans of potted meat around, or growing your own vegetables, or having a cow you can eat, or a goat that you can make cheese or soap from, the milk. I guess you can eat goat too. That's not my favorite. One thing Beyond Gold and Silver talks about is raising rabbits for protein. I think I have eaten rabbit in my life. I can't say it's been a regular staple, but I guess if all hell breaks loose, it wouldn't be the worst form of meat to have. With a chicken once in a while, but then you're cutting down on your egg laying production. So, yes, today I'm leaning towards a part-time job and living off of a certain amount of my savings, which that's the reason I have these messages in to a couple of these people. One of them is managing my retirement account in Fort Worth, of which I should have enough money in there to live an acceptable lifestyle for another year, even if I don't take a job. I'm not eager to spend all my quote unquote, air quote, retirement money in the next year, but if it's going to building up this channel and building up self-sufficiency, that might be the best investment I could do with it. In addition to that, I also have some other money set aside that might get me another 6 or 8 months, so I'm looking at anywhere from 12 to 18 months that I should be fine without an income. But I think no matter what I do, I would like to have about $500 to $1,500 of income a month. At the upper end, that would cover all my expenses right now. I live fairly frugally, but here again, I don't want to use up all my reserve and then the world fall apart. But I also think if I take a part-time job, the first ones to be laid off once things get rough are going to be the short-termers, part-timers. So do I worry about that, what's going to happen or what could happen in 18 months, or do I plan for what I want? Right, there goes the Werthers. Well, these things are creamy, even though I don't know that they have any cream in them. I know they got sugar, which is, you can tell, I've been having a little too much sugar lately. And that is also on the agenda. Literally, I can walk down this hill here and there's a Planet Fitness at the bottom, and they have a 30-minute workout circuit. I think I'm going to go down there in a few minutes and do that. I went down there earlier and did the hybrid tanning machine, where they have some new ones out, and I actually got a brochure today. They were having a grand opening. I didn't know about it, but the regional managers there, the Chamber of Commerce was there. They had Chick-fil-A nuggets out and some rabbit food. I left that for the rabbits. Oops, sorry, kicked the tripod. I did eat a few of the chicken nuggets. You're really not supposed to have the breading on this way of eating, but I'm also not supposed to have Werther's Originals, or soft, or chewy, or any of the other ones they make. But I was rather bad yesterday when I went to Safeway. They had the Easter candy on for half price, and they have a new one this year. It was the peanut butter M&Ms in the shape of eggs. So of course I had to buy some of those, and I've almost gone through a whole bag. I kind of got addicted to them on the road. I was buying them at the Dollar Tree in the box. A lot cheaper to buy them at the Dollar Tree than it is to buy them at the gas station. So I was saving money even though I was eating wrong. And everybody seems to be very forgiving when you're driving if you go off the way of eating. Unfortunately, that doesn't stop once you land. You've activated that addiction and you still want more and more. So I'm going to work on clamping down on my healthier way of doing things. And I think tomorrow it's supposed to be mid-70s here with, I think, 0% chance of rain, but that does not mean it's going to be sunny. I think it's still overcast. I'm thinking of driving over to Polyface Farm, which is run by Joel Salatin, who does a lot on YouTube about regenerative farming. He lets anybody that wants to come any time of day or night come onto his farm and just watch what they do. He has eggs, he's got rabbits, he's got chickens, he's got cattle, pigs. I would like to get some pointers, and I'm going to help this other family make their farm self-sufficient. I have to wait till mid-May when she gets here to get the green light on that, but there's no harm in doing some on-the-ground research prior to that. But I also want to make a video about the pros and cons of Airbnb versus hotels when you're on the road. So I may do that one later tonight and then have it ready. This one's going to upload tomorrow, which will be Friday. I was thinking of going to see my parents Friday, but I guess I can go Saturday. The only problem is the Sam's Club I go to, the closest one here, is near my parents. Well, there's one a little bit closer, but it's on the way to my parents. And I don't like to go to those places, or that might be a Costco. I don't like to go in those places on Saturdays because they're busy. But there's a third wholesale company in this area that I'm not really familiar with. It's called, BJ's Wholesale Club or company or something. And there's one of them in the little town if I go north and then I guess east. If I go towards my parents, the first other little town after I leave this little town has one of those, and they have part-time cashier positions open. It's the same concept as Sam's Club or Costco. It's a wholesale warehouse, and I'm sure everything's in bulk. I'm actually trying to buy less and less bulk now because I found out I had too much bulk when I tried to downsize in Fort Worth. Of course, I'm very happy with this apartment. I don't know that I plan on leaving it anytime soon. But I did decide not to buy 200 kitchen trash bags, considering I only go through like one a week. That would be 4 years of trash bags. I think I gave away 1.5 years worth when I moved. So yeah, I gave a lot of stuff away. I knew I was going to have to replace, but it was easier to replace it than move it. I've still got stuff that hasn't gotten moved that I deemed necessary. But I've also been replacing a lot of stuff here. So as I go out to Polyface, if I go through that town, and I'm not sure I do, or if I see another one of these BJ's, I understand they're more popular in the Northeast. They haven't really made it south or west yet, but there are several of them around here, and they tend to have fairly cheap gasoline. So maybe it wouldn't hurt to work there, then I could get the cheaper gas. But with the discounted sheets, 3 cents for having their little reward card, that gas is fairly cheap too. In fact, I might run down, I think it's 12 miles to the south. There's one. I saw it on the way to Fredericksburg. It is about 12 cents a gallon cheaper than the one right down the hill, so I guess I can drive 12 miles for 12 cents a gallon, even though my car only really holds about 10 gallons. But I guess I should look and see the route to Polyface Farms to see what gas costs along the way there before I go out of the way tonight. Unless I call my friend in Fredericksburg and she's available for dinner or something, then maybe I would go that way. But actually gas is cheaper in Fredericksburg than it is 12 miles here. I think I'm at the most expensive gas place I've been between here and Texas. It was constantly climbing as I headed this way. So I guess it makes sense that if I'm going another 2 hours back south that it'll be cheaper, closer to my destination tomorrow. And driving a hybrid, it's not like I'm going to run out in a mile or two. I probably have a 100-mile range left, which would get me to the farm, and then I could to Polyface Farm, and then I can see what his operation is and if I could implement it at the farm that I might have access to next month. One thing I am going to tell you is the other day I bought a squishy Roma red tomato at the Safeway, thinking I could just cut it up, put it in a pot, and let it go to seed, or let it sprout. I guess it already is to seed when it rots, but then I read a thing, I'd put it out here in the yard where the sun hits it the most, but then I read a thing said they germinate better inside, so today I took it inside. It'll be warmer. It won't have sun, but they don't need sun to germinate. They need sun once they germinate, and they don't like cold weather. I don't know. I know you can throw scraps out in a compost pile and you will get plants, but I don't know if I'll be successful with this or not. But ultimately they will probably end up the seedlings will end up out at this farm. But I also want to have a little bit here. I don't like tomatoes. I don't like raw tomatoes for sure, but the lady that lives upstairs will, and I'm sure I could barter some with the neighbors. Maybe I'll give them to the lady that gives my parents the farm fresh eggs, even though there will be chickens. I think they put 2 out there last year from somebody else that raises them in the family, and they have a dehydrator. I wish they'd let me bring the dehydrator here and bring me all the fresh eggs, and I would dehydrate them. Then we would have those in storage for when things go bad. Maybe I'll talk to them about that. Ultimately, I would like to get get a camper, recreational vehicle type camper out there at the farm, so I would have a place to stay. Now when the landlord is out there, I could stay in the main house, just be her guest like I am in Texas. When she's not there, I think the son may use the farmhouse, and I don't want to intrude on his family. So it would be better to have a camper, a pop-up. I do have a tent that I did bring with me, but tent camping is not my specialty anymore. I could do it, and I would do it if I had to, but it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to do. But that's kind of the update for today. I did go back and I watched a video that was like 40 minutes long that I had made 5 months ago, right after leaving my job, that kind of sort of explained what I wanted to do down the road and why I left full-time employment. I can't say that things have significantly changed since then, but I also can't say that I got a strong message as to what I was going to do 6 months down the road. I think eventually I will be working some type of a part-time job. Maybe the lady with the security company. I've been in touch with her when I was in Fredericksburg, and she's kind of waiting for me to hear from this full-time employment. She and many other people think it would be an ideal job for me. I'm just wondering if the opportunity costs are too much. Apparently, if I become a supervisor at Sheetz, they work 4 10-hour days, so then you have 3 days off in a row. I talked to one of them down there this morning when I filled up my big jug with Diet Mountain Dew on my subscription. I probably need to empty that jug and do it again if I go down to work out. But that's the way I'm leaning today. Tomorrow, who knows? I might be back full-time work. We'll see. I think that might not be the case, but nothing is set in stone at this point. But either way, I'm going to be all right, and that is a wonderful blessing. Talk to you all tomorrow. Love you. Bye-bye.